do your market research, know your consumers, know what trends are like pivotal during like certain times.
There's a reason that just like the shelf talkers are designed a certain way. They stick out, right? Because you are trying to attract the consumer and stick out on the shelf.
Understanding the consumer's journey is pivotal, and we want to make sure that they're investing it in the right product.
So even if you're an operator or the founder, it doesn't matter, right? Like the ownership that you have when you're a part of like that startup core team is like you care so much.
Hey friends, welcome to Above the Fold podcast. I'm your host, Jess Servion. We're going to be talking about everything in your customer's journey. You're going to learn things about customer experience, brand experience, and marketing secrets that help you drive your brand success. So stay tuned, buckle up, and let's get into the episode.
Welcome back to another episode of Above the Fold podcast with me, Jess. This week, I am in Los Angeles. Fun fact, I used to live here years ago. Great place, great creative town. Probably would never move back. I'm so sorry, Tess.
I get it. I've been here 10 years. I question why I live here all the time.
I mean, well, we'll get into this, but as artists. So this week I'm joined by Tess Awal, who is the CX manager at Dr. Squatch. And if you don't know what Dr. Squatch is, I'm going to need you to pick up some pages on the internet and understand that Dr. Squatch is a dope as fuck soap brand. That what is it like predominantly for men or?
It's predominantly for men. It's made for men.
I fucking love it.
Yeah, I mean, we get it for free and I love using it. Coconut Castaway is incredible.
Yes.
But we also have a partnered like under our jukebox.
Jukebox,
which is for the women.
I have the deodorant.
Okay.
I travel with it.
Okay.
Great.
She's a fan.
Tess is joining me and we're going to talk all about Dr. Squatch, but we're also going to talk about her past. And like me, she also was a creative and ended up in this world.
Yeah.
So Tess, before we even get into it, before we get into Dr. Squatch, any of those things, tell me who you are. Tell the audience who you are.
I love talking about me. I'm Tess. Surprise. A little bit about me. Yeah, I've lived in LA for 10 years. I come from a pretty diverse background. Yeah, I studied fashion photography and photojournalism, so both. And that brought me into LA. And I worked in the fashion world for about 2 to 3 years. And somehow was able to pivot into like e-commerce and CX. I just guess I sell myself really well. But yeah, I've been in the e-commerce world for about 10 years. And you'll see through my LinkedIn, I'm sure, I've worked at Missouri, Terra Cafe, which you actually had Kate on your podcast a long time ago. And then right now I'm at Dr. Squatch and it's been going great.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's so funny how like us creative types end up in the CX world. And it's not just like fashion because we both went to school for fashion stuff, right?
Yeah.
But it's also theater kids.
Yeah, actually, absolutely. I mean, that's also why I guess I love LA. I've never done theater on the record, but I love that. On the record, I've never been a theater kid. No offense to theater kids.
Yeah.
But I do, I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, I am a pretty lively and enthusiastic person. And I think that shines really well in the e-commerce space because, I mean, you want to take up space, you got to be loud. Yeah.
Girl, let's repeat that. You want to take up space, you have to be loud. And I think that's so true. I think we're in a very overly saturated field, right?
Yeah.
Where, you know, as women,
Yeah.
we need to take up that space.
Yeah.
You know,
Still. Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
Whole other subject, whole other bag. All right, let's bring it back to customer experience though. So I am, you know, going back to your experience, visual merchandising at Wasteland.
Yeah. So, you know, what other better way to pivot from fashion photography than to visual merchandising? Because, you know, they kind of intersect with fashion.
Yeah.
And it was really interesting. I've always loved fashion. I still will love fashion. But how to like market to our consumers was really fascinating. I've styled my own shoots before, so it was a really easy transition doing that for Wasteland. If you don't know Wasteland, then you're not from LA, but Wasteland has been in LA for as long as LA has existed, I think. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, and I was there for 2 years. pivoted right into visual merchandising. And that was the first time that I really got to understand just how important it is to do your market research, know your consumers, know what trends are like pivotal during like certain times. So I worked there like, oh God, so long ago, like 8 years ago. So what kind of peak fashion was that? Like Y2K?
I mean, Y2K is like still here, babe.
Still, yeah, 8 years in and it's still going strong.
I know.
But yeah, it was really interesting to see what type of shoppers were coming in, how to like design our mannequins to sell to these people. And oftentimes people would be like, I want that exact entire outfit off that mannequin.
Yeah.
So that was really fun for me.
Well, like even not even just in fashion, just like that general like visual marketing, right? And the merchandising of it is so interesting. Like you, one of my first jobs that I've ever had, okay. I'm gonna age myself, but World Market used to be called Cost Plus.
I do remember that. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm a 94 baby.
I was 9 when you were born, babe.
You look amazing.
But so World Market used to be called Cost Plus, and one of the jobs that I had, like I started working there. I was a cashier.
Yeah.
And then I really wanted to like be head of the furniture department.
Oh, I love that.
And one of the fun things that I got to do was visually merchandise like the apartment sets, so you like would pick them up, like you would want to buy that couch, you would want to buy that dresser, right? And I would like build furniture and stuff. But it was so interesting, like I looking back on that, like what you were saying, how learning from visual merchandising really taught you about like customer behavior.
1000%.
And I thought back into that moment, I was like, it's totally true. Like it's not just about like you walk into a store and you see this display. There's a reason why that display has certain colors. There's a reason that just like you know, the shelf talkers are designed a certain way. They stick out, right? Because you are trying to attract the consumer. And stick out on the shelf, right?
Absolutely. It tells a narrative. And, you know, back then we didn't have TikTok or honestly, even Instagram. I purchased from Instagram too. But like you saw it in person and that sold to you. So it was really important for me to be able to showcase like how certain pieces could kind of coincide and like make a look. And again, I am really passionate about fashion, but I'm also really passionate about people.
Yes.
So that's why I've been in e-commerce for 10 years, because I really do love like understanding our customer journey. And like, especially now with, you know, indicators of a recession and tariffs and everything, like we notice a lot of like our consumers really care about where they put their money. And to me, like understanding the consumer's journey is pivotal, and we want to make sure that they're investing it in the right products. So
doubling back, you said that like consumers really care about where they put their money, right? And we've definitely have seen this consumer behavior shift, right? But do you think it's like we've seen that behavioral shift, not just from like this like recession indicators, but also because of the fact that things are so accessible to us today?
I agree. Yes, absolutely. I think, you know, we obviously Dr. Squatch we have our own website and we have so many customers who shop directly from our website. But one of the other things that is really great about Dr. Squatch is all of our retailers, right? So we're partnered with Walmart, Target, Costco, and you know, so forth. And to me, accessibility is so key, especially with our products. Like you want to smell the product before you're purchasing it. And so we make it so easy for our customers. So then, you know, you try our products, great. But now you love our products and now you're invested and now you're going to be shopping with us, hopefully for the long haul. And if you know Dr. Squatch, you know, we have a pretty huge fan base.
I know. Yeah. It's so wild. I mean, we were talking about this offline, and not to like fully talk about this, right? But like, but Sydney Sweeney, right? You guys did a collaboration with Sydney Sweeney.
Yes.
And I personally thought it was genius.
Thank you.
I get it. I think that she knows what sells, and for better or worse, and people are going to be angry about it, right?
Yeah.
But any celebrity on the market is like, I know what I need to do right now to stay relevant and to like continue like growing, right? And so I don't think there's anything wrong with like the the collab you did. Can we talk about the collab though?
Absolutely.
Tell me about the collab.
I think it was a success, to be quite honest. We talked a little bit about it, obviously, offline, but I don't think marketing is ever really bad because you're talking about us and that's what we want, right? So we were like I think when you typed in bathwater in Google, we popped up as the first thing. Not the definition of bathwater, Sydney Sweeney's bathwater. So I think that is cheeky, it's fun, and I love that it put us on the map in a way that I don't think other consumers were thinking of.
Right.
So I personally think there's a lot of ownership that she took too. Like she said that it was her idea, and I think that was really clever. I will give a huge shout out to our marketing team as well, because it goes to show that Dr. Squatch really knows its consumers.
Yeah.
And we know our customers so well, and they ate that shit up, you know? And if you don't know, like, I think the soap was selling for $3,000 on eBay.
Oh, girl, I do know because I did a brand
You
breakdown.
did talk about it.
I did a brand breakdown about this. And when I was doing my research, like, y'all, it was so crazy because you guys did limited quantity, right?
We did. It sold out. She literally broke our website.
Yes.
And thank God we were so freaking prepared for that. We had meetings after meetings with our marketing and web team, and we knew like how popular she was, but you know, I don't think she knew the power she had. And it was quite incredible. I think she was getting questioned about it on her red carpets.
Yeah.
Because she,
but then that's how you know that you went viral.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we did.
That's how you know that your campaign was so successful is like you ruffle some feathers.
Yeah.
And like people on the internet are always going to make a comment about something. Nobody is ever going to be happy. I mean, like, and I think because we're so accessible, people have like shared their opinions much more now, right?
And we care about their opinions. Like, you know, we had customers, I think when we first did our collaboration in general with like Sydney Sweeney's an ambassador of Dr. Squatch, we had people like kind of being like hinting to something like the bathwater, you know? So we're listening to what our customers are saying, whether it's bad. And I don't think it's bad. It's feedback nonetheless.
Yeah.
And if you work in CX, you have to listen to that feedback.
Yeah.
So we got all types of comments, all types of feedback around Sydney Sweeney. I'm bummed that, you know, certain customers couldn't grab it. It does actually smell fantastic. It like takes up my entire bathroom, to be quite honest.
Really?
Yeah. But I mean, at the same time, it's like, I love that you guys are talking about us. And every conference again that I go to, people are like, Sydney Sweeney. And I'm like, hi, I'm Tess.
Yeah. I know. I mean, it doesn't matter like good or bad marketing. Like at the end of the day, when you're in brand, like on the brand side, like it is worthwhile. I will say though, and I question this because like the news that's happening right now while like Tess and I are filming is, do you know Youthforia?
I do know Euphoria, the TV show.
No, Youthforia.
No.
Of course, Euphoria.
I do know Youthforia too, actually.
Yeah, me
I'm like,
too.
yes, Sydney Sweeney.
There's a brand called Youthforia.
Yeah.
Beauty brand, plant-based ingredients, like really like dope, actually, like really fun Gen Z. They actually just announced late last week that they are closing down the business. But what happened, and I want to say this was like maybe a year, 2 years ago, she, I don't want to say she, actually, let's not place blame on like, because I think that's a common misconception that everybody places blame on the founder specifically, but like you forget
There's
you have
more
a team.
factors into that.
Yeah. So sorry, I did it again. So they came out with a foundation product, right?
Yeah.
And like, it was all about like plant ingredients, that like makeup that you could literally sleep in and it's not going to irritate your skin, right? Like really beautiful ingredients. But they came out with a complexion, like a very dark complexion foundation. And I forget the influencer who tried it on. It was a beauty influencer and she was like, this is not it.
I remember this.
Yes, it was not it. And it went viral and
this,
all of these moments like, and obviously I don't have the facts. I don't know the things, but I think it's really interesting that moment happened and then they kind of fell out of the limelight.
Yeah.
And then now they're closing. And I don't think it's like that very specific thing, right? It could be very much that like brand building is hard.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's such an interesting take. I will say diversity is super important in the beauty industry and in general.
Yeah.
Like in general. But going back to that, like, your customers' opinions really matter. And especially now with social media and TikTok, like, I mean, I'm an avid TikToker. I love to doom scroll. But what I saw when the Sydney Sweeney bathwater came out was her name was everywhere. Our bathwater collaboration was everywhere. And whether it was a good take or a bad take on that, I was listening to it, obviously, I work in CX, so I care about what our customers are saying, but I also was like, what is this doing for our brand, right? And is this going to lead towards like, okay, do we like do an emergency meeting and try to like, I don't know, like, will it be a bad marketing ploy? And we pivot and we like restructure everything, or how damaging is the opinion of our customers? And luckily, it balanced out really well.
Yeah. But sometimes like bad marketing, I mean, also the era that we are in recording this in, Sydney Sweeney also did an American Eagle campaign.
Yes.
And listen, I don't want to blame the celebrity or the influencer in it, but sometimes marketing plays can be a bit of a mix or a hit. Yeah. Or not a hit, sorry, a miss. Sometimes marketing plays can be a hit or a miss.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Unfortunately on that one, the thing with our collab, and I'll speak on ours because I know how much intentionality and how much discussion was involved in our collaboration with Sydney Sweeney, how much preparation was involved. And I'm not saying that that they didn't do that, but I think it's important to speak up when you don't align with something or something just doesn't seem like it'll align with you. The general demographic. Again, we do live in weird times right now. And I think Sydney Sweeney she's really, whoever is her boss is doing a great job at getting her these collaborations. Right, but it's also like being careful about how we market her too.
Yeah.
And.
Well, I think that's brand responsibility.
Yep.
Right? Like when you're thinking about it, it's like, and we don't talk about this enough, but like collaborations and partnerships and influencer marketing, right?
Yeah.
Like I think like people definitely look at like who their affiliates are and who's like an ambassador for their brand and like promote the ones that like resonate the most. But I do think that brands in general kind of get a little bit lost in the sauce of like, oh my God, this was a hit. Yeah. But then like don't actually do the deep dive into like the type of person that they are.
Yeah. Like who's actually shopping at American Eagle, right? And obviously it did not go well. We see the sentiment of a lot of the shoppers and like, again, going back to us, like we know our customers. I can confidently say that. We know what they like. We know the type of shopper they are. And we knew at the end of the day, the men were going to love this, you know? And even some of the women tried to buy it for their guys.
Yeah.
So, again, it's just like really knowing who your shopper is. And unfortunately, they really missed the mark on that one. We did not, though.
Yeah.
We never miss the mark.
Well, I would love to know on that note, I would love to know, like, we talk a lot about like understanding the consumer and like all these feedback loops. And I think in CX, like we talk about that a lot, right? But like, how do you actually put that into practice? Like, what are your tactics?
Oh man, every Monday I wake up with a nice cup of coffee and I look at all of our feedback. And, my practice of it is really just looking at it from a neutral perspective. I don't think of any feedback as bad feedback. I've said that before. Like it's really important for us to enhance that customer journey. And I never say improve because I think we're doing great. We're always above average standard in terms of KPI metrics, but we want to enhance it. We want to achieve even better, right? So I start my Mondays looking at feedback that our customers are saying. We look at feedback in different channels. So obviously we look at NPS. Yeah. Our stakeholders actually really care about that. Our COO reads our NPS.
I love that.
So that does not get missed at all. And then obviously CSAT. We also have Trustpilot. We have Okendo. We have reviews and feedback kind of channeled through everything. But where I really dial it in is CSAT and NPS. Two reasons. One, because NPS directly talks about these really important categories of ours, which is product, marketing, customer experience. And then I think one other one is just like general like overview, like how did you feel about us? And then CSAT is obviously related to the actual experience with our customer experience team. Yeah. I read through those. I literally read through them. I do sometimes have some help from ChatGPT to summarize
Dude,
it a little.
I actually love using Chappy to like help me summarize like feedback.
Yeah.
Like I'll get all of like the statistics and like
Yeah.
put it all together. I mean, for
Give
me,
me the
I'm
key
like
points.
fractional across multiple clients. So it's
Yeah.
like I have to like summarize it very quickly.
Sure, I get that.
But
Absolutely.
I love Chappy.
Yeah.
Thank you for making my life easier.
I love it so much. It's like I use it. I talk to it more than maybe I talk to my friends, and I'm sorry for that. But it's been so crucial when I want to like look at that feedback, but then like high level overview. And then I make sure that that is channeled to the people that need to care about that. So obviously funneling that to our direct reports. I told you already that our CEO is reading that, but then we have our director, Carl Mecklenburg, he's a king. And then we have like marketing, we have monthly meetings with other departments cross-functionally. I send out weekly reports about this stuff, and it does not get missed at all. Like, these departments care so much about this feedback and what it actually entails for like product releases or how we can improve our like web design or our checkout flow, our subscription flows. Like a lot of feedback around our subscription. Never bad, but
I think every subscription has bad, like
it's
feedback.
never great.
But you know what I think it is? And this is, people are going to be real upset when I say this, but I think there's like 5,000 subscription tools out there.
Yeah.
And nobody is really doing a differentiator.
No, it's all the same. And that's why we stay with Recharge, because if we're going to do it, we're going to stay with someone who's been tried and true and like one of the longer like subscription platforms. I have like maybe 1 to 2 subscriptions, and it takes a lot for me to subscribe to a product. Like I need to really love it. So the one that I subscribe to is Billy, which is like that razor.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's amazing. I know women love men's razors, but I will say that Billy has done it well with female razors specifically.
Yeah.
Because that shit just glides off. So thank you, Billy. But yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, it takes a lot for me to invest into a subscription. So if I, as a shopper, am like very careful about that, then I know other male shoppers are as well. So how we have like really worked on our subscription is we have like, I think like weekly meetings with our e-com and web team around it. Again, we have a lot of feedback around it in our NPS and CSAT always. It goes into our CSAT too, because customers are just trying to get heard, right?
Yeah.
They'll leave a review anywhere as long as it's like being seen and like acknowledged.
Or then you have those one customers who are like, they will literally leave you a review when they are angry. They be angry.
And I wish I cared that much about a product, to be quite honest. Sometimes I'll read that and I'm like, that's amazing. Like, you really went to lengths to let me know how you feel. Like, I'll have a customer sometimes reach out to me on LinkedIn and be like, I really need to be heard about this specific thing. And, you know, when it gets to that point, I'm like, that's not good. Like, what did we miss?
But you know what, though? For sure. And like, I love that you care if a customer gets to that point. Because I've had experiences, and listen, I'm...
Who are you leaving a review on LinkedIn?
That I might be a little bit of a Karen in this situation, okay? Absolutely.
I've done it before too once.
But like, I guess when you like work in the space and live in the space, it's really hard for you to like forget things. Girl, I've had the absolute worst experience with a brand that like still to this day, it has been 3 or 4 years and I will not buy from this brand ever again. It was a health and wellness brand. They like, it was just a hot mess, right? And I like went through, and then like I actually did do some sleuthing on LinkedIn to like try to find it, because I can never find the manager or the person. Turns out the entire team was outsourced and nobody was actually running it, which is fine. Like, it's not a big deal if your team is outsourced, but it's empower your outsourced team to make the right decisions for your brand or put some sort of like leadership into that, right?
Yes.
Like,
oh my God. I mean, we use an outsourced BPO, Horatio. They're great, but like, I manage them. Like, I oversee every single thing they do. I'm talking to them on Slack literally nonstop, to the associates, to our team leads, to our managers. So like, we definitely hold them accountable. If something gets missed, like, we work through that ticket and we give them like very constructive feedback if need be, because I mean, I simply said, like, they're an echo chamber of us.
Yeah.
You know, customers don't know that this is an outsourced BPO. They just know that they're speaking to.
It doesn't matter. And
Yeah.
and you shouldn't feel like you're talking to a different part of the team anyway, right?
Absolutely not.
A good,
they're an extension of us.
absolutely.
Yeah.
A good third party partner is somebody who, or is a brand that also invests into that third party. And I say this, and I mean, listen, like if you think about it, I'm like a third party these days, right?
Yeah.
Like, cause I work on brands, like multiple brands, but I'm running, like my team at OpenLate is running like either CX or running retention, brand strategy, or like I'm coming in as fractional CMO. And I am an extension of that team. I'm not a BPO, you know?
No.
I'll put in small teams if like a brand needs it. Where I actually come in is if like a brand doesn't have a CX manager, doesn't have directors, like all of those
they need
pieces,
some guidance.
and then they need that guidance, and then we like come in fractionally and work for them.
I love that.
And I love that space because honestly, I've created the space to be like, I like working at brands that are 0 to 4.
Yeah.
And like once you hit like 10, 80, I'm like, I need to leave.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they've already got the bones in, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like you've also worked for startup companies
Oh
too,
yeah. I
because
was
same.
like, I mean, at Feastables, I was employee 4.
Yep. Okay.
So like I brought that to like market, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I know I talk about Feastables a lot. And so I'm so sorry to anybody like viewing this and listening to this. And it's not about Feastables necessarily.
Yeah.
It's, even before that, I worked in tech. I worked with a lot of startups like fintech, health tech, all these places. I was also 0 to 4 in those places. Yeah. But like what was so interesting and like what was the highlight of like my Feastables moment was the fact that like I was part of the go-to-market team. I was the VP of CX. I did the things, right? Yeah. Brought that to market. But I think the reason I'm so prideful about that moment is because the work that we did was so fucking awesome. Like it's the same like with Dr. Squatch. Like you get to do like some really rad shit, right? Like you get to build these
pivotal to their growth. Yeah. Like what you did and a team of 4. And I think that's why I do love smaller, like literally so small teams like that, is because what you're leaving is going to be an impressionable footprint for years on end, you know? Yeah. And Dr. Squatch, similar to that, like we just celebrated like people who've worked with the company for 5 years. Yeah. And a lot of them are not like, it's not the CEO, surprisingly, you know? And so these people have invested so much to the company and you can see it within our growth, right? Yeah. So I personally love working for small startup companies because you learn a lot about you too. You become, I think the best leaders are those who started at really small startup companies.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, I've done corporate America. I've done those things, but like living in like the startup space is like one of my favorite places to be. I think that, you learn a lot about yourself. I think the things that I've learned in this era now, though, like of having my own startup, is I've actually learned the difference between being an operator and like an entrepreneur, like founder. And it's like
I would love to talk more about that.
Yeah. Well, I think this is really interesting. So even if you're an operator or the founder, it doesn't matter, right? Like the ownership that you have when you're a part of like that startup core team is like you care so much. You care so much. You're so invested in it. You want it to succeed, right? But it takes a different type of person to do that. Like there are people who are operators who are like, I'm going to do a 9-to-5 job. Yeah. But like any startup, I don't care if you're slanging fintech or you're slanging soap, okay? Yeah. It like literally any startup that you work in and then you sign up and you say, I want to be employee 2 or 4 or even under 10, right? Yeah. Like you end up sometimes working past your 8 hours.
12 hours
at home with you. Yeah. But like because
you're invested in a different way.
You're invested in a different way, man. And it's so interesting, like just the shift that I've like had it in my brain. Like I used to complain. Like I actually, shout out to my old boss, Jim. Okay. Shout out to my old boss, Jim. And honestly, shout out to any of my old bosses, even my best friend, Emmett, who had to deal with me years and years ago when he was my boss. Common denominator between these two people, okay? Yeah. I love them. I'm like, Emmett is my best friend. Jim is like my besties. Like he was my old CEO at Feastables.
My besties are my bosses, my former bosses too.
Totally, right? Okay, I have to tell this story, like, and you'll understand. So so Jim was my old CEO at Feastables, whatever, right? And this poor sweet man had to deal with me He had to deal with me. And it was so funny because I would always be real with him. But then I realized that sometimes like, even in that time period, there was things that I like kind of felt like, oh, I'm owed this, but I didn't work hard to get it. Right. Or like, I don't know how to say that. Like, I know I worked hard, but it's
No,
like,
but I know what you mean though.
but like a title change or these things. Right.
Yeah.
But like one thing that I've like realized now I'm my own boss and I'm doing my own things is like, well, also it's kind of a running joke because Jim talked to my friend Emmett at my wedding and they both were like, yeah, Jess is really hard to manage.
They're bonding over the shared trauma.
Yeah, of having to deal with me. But something that I realized in like this pathway that I'm on, of just doing my own jams, is that I realized that as an operator, I do think I was very difficult for sure. Maybe because like I just have always had that entrepreneurial spirit. I just like, I have to like, I can't have bounds on me. I have to run.
Totally get that. And you're also from a creative background too. So it's even harder for us to feel confined.
Yeah.
We get bored easily too.
So bored easily.
You have that entrepreneur spirit. And that's something that I like.
It takes a certain person, right?
It
like
does.
you have that.
Oh, stop it, Jess. But sometimes like, there's really nothing wrong with like working a 9 to 5 and then be like, all right, I'm checked out at the end. Like something that we do say, and you know, this is on the record, but like it's $7 soap at the end of the day. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yes, we take our customers' like concerns very seriously, but it's soap. And you don't need to go home with that stress, like literally and figuratively and all of the above. Like
You're not saving lives.
you're not saving lives. And I wish
You're
I
not
was,
a fucking
but
surgeon.
my parents are disappointed. I'm not a doctor. I'm sorry. But like, I work in CX. I work for a men's soap company and we take our shit seriously, but also at the end of the day, we love to like separate that. And I think it's a healthy balance, but I also do love the entrepreneur spirit.
Yeah.
I'm always, I think I said this to you before, but every year I like to think about what I've done with my career and like, where do I see myself going at Dr. Squatch? I do see myself there for the long haul.
Yeah.
And it's because they really do highlight CX in a different way than I've worked for other companies. I've told you already, like they do actually care about what their customers are saying, and that's really refreshing.
Yeah.
And also I've never worked for a men's soap company, but it's crazy to see just how much of a digital footprint we've had. And it's really exciting. I'm never bored at work.
Yeah. Well, I love that though. And I think like, like whatever it is that you do, right?
Yeah.
It's like that entrepreneurial spirit, like in that creative mind, like has to like run.
Yeah.
You know?
They recognize it and they like admire that. You know, I've been with the company. This is actually my year today at Dr. Squatch.
Wow.
And she's made it. She survived. They let me there. They kept me there.
Yeah.
But what I love about them is they really acknowledge like a diverse mind. Diversity obviously in general, but they love fresh takes. And, you know, I come from a really weird background. I worked for a soap company. I worked at Mejuri, which is fine jewelry. A lot of these companies that I work for were more so for like the female consumer. Not that I think gender plays too much of a role into soap.
No, but
you know,
it's different consumer behaviors.
Exactly. And so I was really shocked when they hired me, to be quite frank, because I was like, I don't know anything about the male consumer. But I think that's what they liked about me was that I came in with like a fresh take on CX. And I've been there a year and I really love it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about this because I was thinking about these things about how like we're talking so much about like startups, right? And, you know, the hot news today is also, well, not today, it was actually a couple weeks ago, but maybe about a month ago. Dr. Squatch was acquired by Unilever.
Yes, we were. Yeah.
How, I'm curious in two ways. Has an acquisition changed any sort of dynamics internally?
Yeah.
But then on the other end of it, how was that acquisition taken by your consumer? Yeah.
So the first question, thankfully, and I say thankfully because there's this preconceived notion about being acquired and what that'll do for a company's values and how we operate. Dr. Squatch was really careful about that and very intentional about who we were acquired by.
Yeah.
So I personally, just working like nothing has changed. And I am really refreshed by that. With our consumers, I thought it was really refreshing to see just how much our consumers are reading into what Dr. Squatch is doing, because a lot of our shoppers did see that we were acquired. And we had a myriad of feedback, to be quite frank. I think, again, there's that preconceived notion about what it's like for a company to be acquired. And some of the feedback was around like, I've been a tried and true fan of Dr. Squatch, and now I feel like, you guys are under the same umbrella as like Dove. So are your materials going to change? Are your values going to change?
Right.
And our COO, he's chef's kiss, he noticed that too on our NPS reports. And because that came right into our NPS, was like, you guys got acquired by Unilever. What is that going to mean?
Yeah.
And so we quickly strategized, like, how do we keep these loyal customers like with us and assure them that what you invested in is not really going to change. It's just, it's just more of like a partnership, really. And so we reach out directly to these customers. I like created a response myself about assuring them like, these are the values. At the end of the day, we are a soap company that cares about men's health, and that's never going to change. And we were really careful about how we were acquired and the rules essentially about that acquired partnership. And I want to assure our shoppers that like, at the end of the day, we are still tried and true Dr. Squatch. We are cheeky, we are fun, we're laid back, but we take our shit seriously, and we will continue to make soap for men and women and anyone, to be quite frank, because honestly, you should be cleaning yourself. And that's not going to change, really.
Yeah. I mean, I think it just happens. I mean, like at the end of the day, brand building as a whole, okay? We start brands because we want to make money. And I hate to say it, like,
but that's the truth.
It's the truth, right? And I do think that, I mean, the same type of take about like consumers losing their mind when somebody like Poppy was acquired by Pepsi.
Yeah.
Right? Siete was acquired, I forget by who. It's a big conglomerate.
I don't know, but I still eat their chips. So
yeah, me too. I also like represent Siete Foods. Like, I love you still.
What a great representation.
As a Latina queen, I am here for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hell yes.
And also as a Latina queen, a part of a community, I am here for you to get your bag, babe.
Yes.
Get your bag.
Absolutely.
You know?
I love that. Honestly, best fucking tortillas. Like, so I have so many gut health issues. I never get bloated on those.
I know.
Yeah. And their chips. Honestly, I just love everything they do. And so clearly they're still good.
Right. But so like that was, okay, so like a consumable like that, right? Like a Poppy and a Siete, right?
Right.
People like really kind of lost their minds a little bit. I mean, there was like the haters and there was not the haters, but like the hater side of it is like, oh, you're going to change. You're going to be like, but at the end of the day, you start a brand because you want to get your back. Yeah. Let's be real. Yeah. Okay. And I think that what's really important is you start that brand to not lose that, like your it factor.
Yeah.
You start that brand and you think about what is going on internally. So externally, your customers never feel a change.
Yeah. Wow. So beautifully said, Jess. And exactly that. Like, we really did do it for the like partnership aspect of it, you know? Yeah. And for me, I think change is also not bad. Like, if you are like a true fan of Dr. Squatch, don't you want us to continue flourishing and growing at the level that we are? And we did that all on our own. So like a little help is always like appreciated.
Yes.
I'm not going to say no to someone coming in and helping us a little bit more. Yeah. And I think, like I said, that I'm in it for the long haul. And the reason I say that is because I know Dr. Squatch is going to be in it for the long haul. Yeah. I'm invested in that company as an employee, you know? So I think like for me, just on the inside of it all, like the changes that we're per se seeing isn't taking away from the groundwork that the OG people at Dr. Squatch have put in, you know? And while, yes, Dr. Squatch does love like fresh minds and fresh take, they also admire and appreciate and keep to their values. Yeah. So I don't know. I personally, I do understand the fear. I actually do, because again, we're under big conglomerates like Dove. Yeah. So
I mean, I get it. Yeah. Like, it's like, I can really only speak for like what's happening here in America,
yeah.
because like I think we're all waking up as consumers and thinking about like the things that we're consuming, things that we're putting on our
We're being
body. Like
intentional.
we're really intentional. I think we started the conversation talking about like how social media makes things a little bit more accessible. And I think we have like an accessibility to a lot of different information that has like made us think about the things that we're consuming, putting in our body. So like, I mean, for me, like even like soaps, right? Like I use particular soaps, or I like with lotions, things that I'm putting like, you know, I love Le Labo, right?
Oh, I love Le Labo too.
I do, but I like started questioning like, the act of putting on a perfume and putting that on your skin directly, what is that effects for me as a woman in my gut, like hormones, like all these things. So I think is like, my point is I think that information is so accessible to us now that makes us here in America, at least, makes us very worried about the things that like we're consuming, what we're putting on our body. And I get it from the consumer's point of view of like, oh, are you going to change?
Yeah.
But just to bring it home, at the end of the day, if you start a brand based off your values and you sell people based off of those value props and you stay true to that, then you will be an everlasting fucking brand.
Absolutely. And I think Dr. Squatch has already proven to do that.
Absolutely.
That's why we have such a loyal and strong fan base that continues to grow, right?
Yeah.
Like I think for a soap company to have over 1 million Instagram followers is insane to me.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a reason behind that is because people can connect to us. Like we're cheeky. We do not take ourselves seriously. We're so fucking funny. And I go into the office and I'm like, God, I love it here, you know? So it's how we are on the inside is exactly how we are on the outside, you know? And I think there's nothing wrong with being a conscious consumer.
Yeah.
I like that. I am one. Like I'm very selective about where I'm investing my money. And I think there's importance to that. Like you should be more aware of what type of company you're like putting your money towards, you know? But at the end of the day, I think like exactly what you said, Jess, like we are staying true to our values. Nothing is going to change in terms of the soap's materials or anything like that. So I think slowly we'll start to see customers be more at ease.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, guess what?
Are we done chatting?
We're at the end of the
I
road.
could chat with you for hours.
I know. I know. Wait, I have a really weird question.
Please ask away.
Have you ever fallen into the TikTok or Instagram like algorithm where people like cut up bars of soap and make it into like
Yes.
and then you see them like slide up?
Stop doing that. We did not slave away for you to cut up the bars.
I know. You guys should make content around that because I fall into those holes.
Okay, I'll let our team know.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I guess it's because I'm so funny. I'm kidding. But our team who does like our TikTok and everything was like, Tess, you should be in our TikToks. And I'm like, bet. So that's me like having me cut
I
off.
would love that. I would love that. Absolutely.
I'll let them know.
Done. Say less. Well, tell the audience where they can find you.
Yeah, I mean, me personally or
you personally.
Oh, you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm pretty active on there. I think you can find me by my real name, which is Tess Awal. But other than that, like if you're reaching out to us via support@drsquatch.com, sometimes you're speaking to me. I am the CX manager, but I do also respond to those emails too because I care about you guys.
Yes. Yeah. You give so much care and you care about customers that I think you're going to do dope things.
Jess, you're going to do dope things too.
Dope jobs.
Women.
Well, thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Above the Fold, and we'll catch you next week.
Dang, we've made it to the end of the podcast and you're still here. So thank you so much for listening to Above the Fold podcast. For the best of this episode and every episode, be sure to follow us on Instagram and my YouTube channel. And for deeper dives on the secrets to brand success, don't forget to subscribe to my weekly newsletter, Sunday Postcards. All right, my dudes and gals, see you next week.